Hello, and welcome to another walking session podcast episode. Maz Miller here. Quick disclaimer that I don't do disclaimers while I'm a psychologist. This is not therapy. You know the drill. Take what resonates with you, throw the rest out, grab your headphones, grab your shoes, maybe even your dog, and let's walk it out. All right. Today I want to talk about the topic of what got you here won't get you there. So this one is applicable. I'm getting too excited. This one is applicable to a number of different circumstances. It can be relevant to work. It can be relevant to your personal relationships. It can be relatable to where you live. It can be just whatever, wherever you are. I guess the key thing, and I'm hoping you press play on this episode for that reason, is that where you are now, you may be feeling a little bit of stagnation or a little bit of push and pull. A little bit of, speaking of push and pull, if you can hear loud noise in the background, that's my husband on his bike trainer. So my apologies for that. He's in the background working away while I'm chilling in the sauna, aka my podcast recording studio. What got you here, won't you there, is that. So maybe you're in a place of going, well, why is nothing working out? Or why can't I get any further? And why has this worked before, but it's not working now? And maybe you're sick of trying the same thing and getting knocked back. I think that, do you know what, really, I was trying to think of situations in my life where this was really applicable, and something that came to mind straight away, or that stuck out, is when I was in my 20s and going through my registration as a psychologist. So part of the registration process back then, it's even more intense now, is a 2-year period where you're being supervised by a supervisor. You're what's called a provisional psychologist or an intern, and you have to, I think at that point for me, was have weekly sessions. In those weekly sessions, you reflect on a number of things. If you are seeing some kind of cruisier clients, but you're getting stuck, you're reflecting on cases and your skills and that kind of thing. But then we're also keeping an eye out for personal things that might be popping up, triggers or shit you need to work through as a practitioner before you get out there. And one of those things for me was working a lot. So I have always, my trauma, let's start there, was wrapped up, used to be, I'm not there now, used to be wrapped up in a pretty bow called being a workaholic, which was super celebrated in our society. But I think what was happening at the time essentially is that I was recreating that chronic stress that I was experiencing during the years of war, and even being a refugee for years after. There was always a high level of stress. So high levels of stress and a lot happening at once became my familiarity, became my comfort. And in my 20s, 100% still capable of dealing with it. There was no worries. That was just my way of being. So much so that when we did this exercise, when we looked at self-care, my supervisor tried to attach me to electrodes, and she was measuring the reactivity to things and getting me to visualize different scenarios to see whether I chill out or whether I get stressed out by them. And she was like, okay, let's get you relaxed. Think about a beach and relaxing and a holiday. And none of that was working. And in fact, the thing that made me feel calm was when I visualized situations with a client in particular that I was working, who was a difficult client and quite challenging. And she was like, this is so weird. We've gone through all these scenarios that normally, whether it's meditation, all these scenarios that normally chill people out are not working for you, but you visualizing that is what's relaxing you. You might be in the right workplace. And I was saying to her, I just feel so much purpose when I help people, and I do enjoy being challenged, and I love having my mind on that. What I didn't suspect at the time, which she did, was that there was that underlying brewing, because for me, that was way safer. So being focused on work was way safer than allow my body to relax which would then allow for things to come up, right? So it was much safer to think about a client and their circumstances and get immersed in that world than it was to deal with some of the things that was still left untouched, I guess, in my subconscious. So she said something to me that was salty. Ooh, I'm having some electrolytes in my water, and I don't think I stirred it properly. Ooh. Anyway, what she said to me, which stuck out, so I must have felt some truth to it, but I was resistant to it at the time, is she said, Maz, you're doing your internship, you're working another 2 jobs, you're taking on a 3rd job, you're doing things at home. Like, there was so many things I was doing. Honestly, I always had 2 or 3 jobs plus uni. And when I say 2 or 3 jobs, not like spreading them, like one day here, one day there. I used to like work in the day and then go and work at a shelter at night. Or, it was just a bit too much. And she knew it. I didn't. I just thought I was really effective and high energy. And then she said to me, what's going to happen when something in life, good or bad, happens and you need to come to a halt? And I said, like what? What's going to get in my way? Like, nothing's stopping me. I love working and I will work forever. And she said, well, what about when you have kids? You won't be able to keep all this up when you have kids. And I said, problem solved, won't have them. And she was like, oh, we're sorted then. And I was like, yep. And I feel like she thought, well, there's no point in talking about this. I think I must have been like 25 or something at the time. Not convincing a 25-year-old of having a baby. She's like, sure about that? I'm like, yep, not having them. Just going to live my life, going to live my best life. And, but the words rang true when I was still going at that pace, when I did have kids, because I kept that up for a long time. I mean, I didn't have Noah until I was like 33. And at the time of having her, moved down the coast, was in the middle of the reno, ran a business with about 12 psychs at the time, was doing a master's thesis, pregnant, just no support down the coast. Oh, let's turn this down. Is it the heat in here? Is it me talking about something vulnerable? I don't know. So I was still going full ball, and I remember even thinking, I'll be fine, be right. It's just a baby. How hard can it be? Been through harder things in life than having a baby. And then bam. And she was actually one of the first people that I thought of, because I remember looking at my husband and saying, this is not sustainable. Like, we're getting through the days, but this is not a long-term strategy. This is not sustainable. So she was damn right. And then I went on a journey, and I probably still am. I think if you're a parent, or if you had something significant change in your life, whether it is, I don't know, maybe you've got kids yourself, or maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe there's a health issue, or maybe just things that always require adjusting. You know, those things in life where you think, I've got it figured out, but you don't. Like, that shit only works in your 20s. You figure things out when you leave school, and you've got it figured out for at least 5 to 10 years. And it gives you this false sense of security and confidence that you got shit figured out. You don't. So lots of people say they don't, but even the ones that they think they do, I thought I did. You don't. That's life. Life is to continuously change and be figured out. So for me, that led to a journey and continues to lead to a journey. Now, a bit wiser, a bit older, a bit wiser. It took me 15 years to figure out that, it's continuous adjustment and checking in with yourself and your own needs and being honest with what you can give and you have to give, and etc., what you can do and how you need to change. And I don't say that easily. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. Lots of things often need to be readjusted that make, it is hard. It is hard. But it is what it is. That's wow.